And we had started off looking at, we're just writing formulas right now. So if I tell you we've got a compound that's made from calcium ions and oxide ions, how do you write a formula for that? Well, your first step is always to write the ions. So step 1 is writing the ions, and calcium, we agreed yesterday, forms what? 2+. And oxygen forms 2-. So to write that formula, and remember our, whoops, I just wrote Cu. Ha! Our cation always comes first, our positive ion always comes first. So I'm going to put these here, and then we're going to take the numbers only, not the signs, whoops, and we're going to crisscross them. So we end up with Ca2O2. So that's our second step. Our third step is to simplify where possible. So what does this become if we simplify that? What's the lowest common? Yeah, it's 1 to 1. So this is just written as CaO. You have to simplify. So it's really a 3-step process to write a formula. That's pretty easy. Do you want to do one more together? Okay, one more together, and then we'll go on to naming from formulas. What would the potassium ion's charge be? 1+. Sulfide would be 2- because it's in the same group as oxygen. So sulfide 2-. So that's step 1, just writing our ions. Step 2, we're going to do the crisscross. I'm going to write these shoulder to shoulder with little spaces for number, and we get K2S1. Third step, simplify. What does that look like, Michael? Pardon? Well, we can't formally simplify it, you're right. What we can do is sort of clean up the notation. And what we know is we never write 1s as subscripts. If there's an S there, it tells us there's a sulfide ion. We don't have to put a subscript 1. So this is just going to be K2S. And that's our final answer. These are pretty easy. This is, like I said, the first thing you're going to practice. So let's go the other direction. So now what you've been given is, here are the ions that are involved. What's the formula for a compound made from these kind of ions? Now what we're going to do is say, hey, here's a formula for an ionic compound. What do you call this? So what we've done is formula writing. Now what we're going to do is naming. You're going to like this. It's stupidly simple. When we name an ionic compound, we say its first name, then we say its last name. That's it. We literally say the name of the cation, then we say the name of the anion. So NaCl is sodium chloride. We drop the word ion because now they're a compound. Al2O3, those are aluminum ions and oxide ions. That is aluminum oxide. Calcium bromide is a combination of calcium ions and bromide ions. Pretty stinking easy. So let's name some of the things that we've just done. What would this be called? That's called potassium sulfide. No prefixes, no monos and dis and tris and tetras and hexas. You just name the ions because it's an ionic compound. Let's look at this one. What would this one be called? There we have calcium oxide. So let's look at a couple more together. Okay, so we have RBF, CAF2, and Na3N. The first thing to do, and this is the skill that you should build here because it will serve you well down the road, is get used to visually breaking this up into the cation and the anion. I had a student many years ago who just could not get this, and what we ended up doing was the student would put a square over every cation and a circle over every anion. And when I looked at tests and quizzes and papers, every time. Square, circle. And so in this kid's mind, it became a square has to go with a circle, square has to go with a circle, square comes first. That's what worked for them. So you can use whatever system you want, but get accustomed to mentally breaking that apart into these are the component pieces. So let's name the first component piece. This is a tough one. You might not know this one. It is rubidium. Very good. So this is, in fact, rubidium what? Rubidium fluoride. You got it. I habitually spell fluoride wrong, and I can never tell when I'm looking at it if that's correct or not. I want to put a U in there. Is there a U in there? There is no U in there, is there? What did I pick for our second winner? What's that one called? Calcium fluoride. So I get yet another opportunity to make a fool of myself. Okay. Now, this last one, Na3N. Tread carefully. So we can visually break it apart. We have the sodiums. We have this thing. What is this called? Jot it down or say it to a neighbor quietly if you think you know it. That stuff is sodium nitride. Nitride, nitrate, and nitrite all exist, and they are very different. Be very cautious about those endings. They are very different chemicals. So right now you only have the ides to contend with. Tomorrow you're going to get the ites and the eights. So, you know, pay attention. When you see IDE, that tells you it is monoatomic. It is a single atom that has gained electrons. Okay, yes ma'am. So the question was, do we just ignore the subscript when we're naming? With binary ionic compounds, the subscript is not reflected in the name. The name reflects the ions, and it's expected that you will know what charge those ions will have and be able to do a correct ratio. So let's do the last thing, and then I'm going to hand you the practice sheet, which is going from a name to a formula, which we kind of did, but we didn't totally do. I told you have a compound, it's lithium chloride. What's the formula for lithium chloride? Your first job is to identify the pieces. Your cation is going to be lithium. What will lithium, and again, this is formula writing, so we're going to do that 3-step shuffle. I'll move all these down for a moment. So first step, write the ions. What's the lithium ion look like? Li1 plus. And what's the chloride ion look like? Cl1 minus. Crisscross, Li sub, Cl sub. Zoop, zoop. Whoops. Jeez Louise, Mozart, keep doing that. That's bad. And we get 1 and 1. Last step, clean it up. What do we show? LiCl. No subscripts. Okay, magnesium oxide. Let's shrink this. Magnesium ion. Mg 2 plus. Oxide ion. O2 minus. Mg sub, O sub. We get 2 and 2. Last step, simplify / clean it up. What do you get? MgO. Which there are all kinds of wonderful little like science joke memes on the internet about, you know, did you hear that magnesium and oxide are dating? OMG. Which drives me nuts. It's funny, it's cute, ha ha ha. But it's the wrong order. You look stupid if you put the negative ion first. It makes me cringe every time I see it. Okay. We can just do one more of these if you want to split off. Okay. Sodium sulfide, sodium ion. Na what? Na1 plus. Sulfide ion. S2 minus. What do you get? Na sub, S sub. Zoop. Zoop. We get 2 and 1. We get Na2S. Okay, aluminum. This is always a tricky one for some reason. What does the aluminum ion look like? It's Al3 plus. Aluminum is actually less tricky now than it will be once you know about the transition metals. Once you know about the transition metals, you get all confused about aluminum usually. Chloride, you've already said repeatedly, is Cl1 minus. What do we get? Al sub, Cl sub, AlCl3. Okay? You good? You want to fly solo? I think you can. If anybody wants to still walk. So, first practice sheet is on the top of the chemistry stack. I will put them all in units on here. If you have, I'm going to start floating around. You start practicing. Okay.
How do I know what their charges are? Like how
You look at the periodic table and you say, what does this have to gain or lose to be like a noble gas?
Okay.
So, remember this is group 1, 2, 3, 4, or I'm sorry, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Do you know pretty automatically how many valence electrons these have?
Yeah.
Okay. If this has 5 valence electrons, it needs to go 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
It's going to gain 3. These are all going to form a plus 3. This has to go 1, 2. It has to gain 2. It's going to form a plus 2.
Okay.
This has to gain 1. It's going to form a plus 1.
Okay.
Okay. Here, to get to be a noble gas, it actually has to lose 1. It has to go minus 1. So these are going to form plus 1 ions because they're going to give up an electron.
Plus 1?
Right. Because remember, here's how you do this. So let's look at lithium, for example. Starting out, lithium has 3 protons and 3 electrons. It's neutral because they cancel one another out. If lithium gives up one of those electrons, these two cancel. What's its charge?
Plus 1.
Plus 1. Does that help?
So what do we have to subtract then? Like, isn't there minus 1s too?
Yeah. Oh, jeez, good lord. Stupid Moser, stupid Moser, stupid Moser. These form negative 3.
Okay.
Form negative 2. I'm so sorry. You should just hit me in the head with something. Maybe something that dumb. Preferably something soft. So these are going to form plus 1, plus 2. These guys are going to tend to form plus 3s.
Okay.
Okay. Does that make sense? I'm so sorry. I'm an idiot.
Wait, that would be plus 5, wouldn't it?
No. This has 3 valence electrons.
Oh, okay. And it wants to be at 10.
It wants to be at 8. It's going to give up those 3 valence electrons. It's going to go backwards and go 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
So this is going to look like helium. Because it's going to give up 1, 2, 3 to look like helium. This is going to look like neon. It's going to give up 1, 2, 3 and look like neon. Okay?
I think I got it now.
Okay. I'm so sorry.
So if it's on the right, it's going to...
I don't know right and left. If it's over here, it's going to be negative. If it's over here, it's going to be positive.
Okay.
Yes. California is positive. Here's how, literally, as a college student, here's how I remembered it. I love California. I'd love to go to California and eat sushi. California is positive. I don't want to live in dirty, polluted New York City. The East Coast is negative.
Okay.
Actually, I don't want to live in California or New York. Thank you very much. I really like the Midwest. But that's how I remembered it. Like California is sunny and positive. The West Coast, looking at a map here, the West Coast forms positive ions. Everybody on the East Coast is unhappy and grumpy, and the weather's terrible. I don't know. They get big snowstorms in Boston. They're crabby all the time. I have a friend in New England who hates snow. What are you doing? Every winter, all I see is her complaints about snow. Yeah. Yeah. Her mom died, so she doesn't have to stay there anymore. Like, family is not holding her back. She could live in Florida. Apparently I don't have the keys scanned. Let me go scan the keys. I will be back. first one up there. You good? Did I screw something up?
No.
Oh, okay. Rah.
What is CS? Cesium?
Yeah. Bromide is not. Yes.
Oh, I have lots of coffee left.
I did notice, I just didn't read it.
You okay? Okay.
I know.
Oh, that's another way to remember it. Add before you subtract. Okay. For which comes first? Is that what you? Okay. Here's the one that I always use. Lead with the good news. The positive comes first. So add before you subtract. Okay. Any of them are good. I like having new mnemonics. You guys can all post to the stream, right? On Classroom. If you come up with a cool mnemonic that you think is useful, that's helping you, post it to the stream. Share it with the class. Treat it like a class blog.
Like California.
California's all sunny and positive. Yeah, that one seriously got me through undergrad.
I just kind of look at it from the technical point of view. I'm just
Okay.
like,
And you
yeah,
can't literally
these ones want
have to bounce back,
lose,
right?
the game.
And you can do that. You can count spaces. I've had students who would go like, okay, gain 1, 2, 3. And then I have people who get confused about if you gain, are you positive or negative? And I just did a little, well, I used to do this when I taught physical science to freshmen. I would have them draw pluses and minuses and cancel them out. So then erase 1 minus, are you positive or negative? Add 1 minus, are you positive or negative? Because yeah, it's weird that when you add something, you're negative. When you take it away, you're positive. So this is what makes sense. And you're not alone. That's a fairly common mental block. It's very common. Okay.
So 13, like my
Group 13.
aluminum,
Mm-hmm.
those are gonna
Lose 3, right, so they're going to lose 3 electrons, so they're going to be plus 3. Yes.
that part's what confused me the most, I think. Okay, but I oxygen is 2 minus. Oh, because it was against the gas. Never mind, yeah. Kept doing it once, so like, it should be 3, because 2 minus.
Okay, so the key is up, the quiz is up. The minute you feel like you got this thing, take the quiz. Oh, wait. Okay, nobody's taking the quiz, right? Are you taking it right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Crap, they may have messed with my add-ons. Flubaru, which is what I used at auto grade, is not showing up. So I may need to transfer this quiz into the new thing, and I don't know how that works. So I may not be able to auto grade this. So you can take it. I mean, don't let me stop you, but I may have to ask you to take it again if you want to get a grade, which would make me want to kill someone. I would prefer you wait until I'm done if you can. If you're really impatient, go ahead and take it. Okay, okay. Did anybody submit it yet?
I did.
Okay, you're in. Never mind, we're good. We're good. Go ahead and stick with what you got. And I will immediately grade it and return it to you. Actually, can I delete all these people? My goodness, looking back at the people I had 3 years ago in there. Oh dear. Did I screw something up on the key? It's entirely possible I did.
So for potassium oxide, it went from K1 plus O2 negative to K2 I1
Oh, so I screwed something up.
on the key.
On the key, yeah.
So it should just be O, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oxygens cannot magically transform. Oh, wait. I erased my own key. Well, that was stupid. Yeah, it is. Oh, I might have added one. I'm sorry. I did the fastest thing I could, which was to get up the key I had. I didn't use the sheet from this year, and I may have not added a few things. Sorry. So for those of you who, and you're about to get your grades, for those of you who've taken it and you're getting your grades, and it looks like everybody may have gotten a perfect. Okay, it's grading. Okay, 7 possible. Everybody got 100%. Here come the grades. So, here's what I want to do. And I don't have this together yet. I apologize. I'm going to see if I've already got a tutorial on the next subject on my channel. If I do, I will link it, and you can watch it and then go get the practice. And then when you're ready for the practice, take the FIP. Okay? So it'll just take me a minute to get that together. Because this is especially where some people need more time and some people are like, no, I'm good, let's fly. Okay, grades were successfully sent.